We had a prospect who ran a whole bunch of like radio ad campaigns, both satellite and terrestrial. And in the course of running those, they generated a whole bunch of now audio assets that can potentially be repurposed. And they basically said, "We have this sitting here. What could we do with it?" Right. And so I kind of scrambled for a couple of answers. John enlightened me to a few other options. But if I am the type of company that has, if it's anything in the entertainment, music, whatever, audio is a thing I'm going to produce a lot. What are some of the good ways to leverage that and creative ways to put it to use?
Yeah, I mean, I think before it used to be we would design for audio off, and I think with the rise of like TikTok and YouTube and everything, now it's the opposite. Now you actually want your audio to be played. Now people are actually listening to the audio. They're actually listening to what you have to say. So I think in terms of audio, we have to kind of switch back to the old ways of like now people actually want to hear what you're talking about. They want to hear the music. They want to hear, all these different things. So I think there's a huge uptick for the use of audio.
So if I have audio at the moment, I already have an arsenal of audio content. I don't have visual assets to go with it. It's not video with audio background, right? It's just audio recordings somewhere. What are the ways you would recommend using that? Should we do animation and illustrations over it and voiceovers to go along with it? Right, I've already got the audio. Now what?
I mean, I don't need if I already have the audio, then I technically don't need a voiceover. The voiceover is already there. So I would just say more so in what visuals do you have? So is it statics? Is it um, you know, I mean, honestly, you can do statics with a audio overlay and it would still be just as impactful as a whole UGC video with the audio. So I think again a lot of people misinterpret that, oh, I have all these, I have a static ad and I have this, it's just not going to do anything. It's like I actually think it's the opposite, because you could play that audio with a great piece of static creative and still get the same effect.
So the YouTube audio ads, I think, are something that we're going to probably start to see more and more and more of. The latest update of these stats, it only goes back to February 8th of 2024, so about 4 months ago. But 2.49 billion users, as of which 23.48% are majority of the time audio users. So that is a massive, was it like 500 million people that are basically, or 500 million users. Who knows how unique how unique these stats are, but that is a very, very, very large amount of people who are just audio. So when you're running an audio only ad on YouTube, that means that their screen's off or their tabs on a different tab. Like YouTube can tell if you're actually watching a video, if you're just listening to a video, and you can actually run audio ads that cut through everybody else's video ads, that you're actually making market penetration when everyone else is not. So that's a very cool thing to even address. It's like you can get even creative with your creative while you're saying things like, no need to go back to YouTube. We already know that you're just listening right now, but I want you to hear this. Like start off an ad that way would be kind of cool. So those type of things that you can kind of develop that market penetration with those uniqueness. But audio only ads are going to become, I think, a bigger and bigger part of digital. They were always obviously a large part of traditional, but that's why Sirius and XM still are a thing.
It's interesting, Lauren. You mentioned, previously designing for audio off. That now there's almost this, sub content category of designing for video off.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. Like to John's point, I listen to a lot of things on YouTube and I don't even watch the video. I just listen to it. So I definitely think that is something that, you could definitely do.
Yep.
You said, I mean, there's so many creative ways to even do video with this audio, whether it's the statics with animated captions. You could do some sort of like weird facial reaction video to the audio. Like,
yeah, there's actually, I feel like, again, I think, we were so trained especially as designers, it was like, no, you always have to design for audio off. Like that was like the biggest thing. And I actually like the fact that we're going back to audio, because even though when we were supposed to be designing for audio off, I still always listen to the audio. And that's just probably because I am in it and I am a designer. But that to me was something, because like audio brings so much more to an ad, to like the creative, that I think that's why I always resonate with it more, because I just like listening to it. So I definitely think I like the fact that we're going back to audio.
Yeah, me too.